Hello, residents of the village of Calumet. My name is Peggy Germain, and on March 10, you, the voters, get to decide whether or not to adopt Manager Ordinance No. 154 when you vote in the village of Calumet. This manager ordinance would transfer duties of multiple elected officials to an appointed manager. I appeal to you to vote no, because you, the voters, can make smart decisions for yourselves and do not need to give away any of your power to a manager who is forever protected and immune from the ballot box, who serves solely at the whim of the president and the village council, and who does not even have to live in our village. Elected officials must live in the village in order to hold office, and this is a reasonable expectation, since it would not be fair that a manager, or any other person for that matter, could make decisions that impact you and me, and then they themselves don't have to live with the consequences of these decisions. If this manager ordinance is adopted, only when and if the council chooses to listen to our collective voices will we be able to be heard and have our opinions matter. That is why this is a really big deal for us. This is your one and only chance to vote no to prevent a small group of select individuals from silencing us all. Basically, we cannot allow the president, clerk, treasurer, and even the trustees to become primarily figureheads who retain their titles, but have officially signed over important duties to be carried out by one individual, a manager. There won't even be much point in running for office either if the manager runs the town and has been given your legal permission to do so. Just vote no to stop this faulty plan from being permanently put into place. I was born in the village, grew up in the village, got married in the village, and raised my family in my beloved village. I've seen the decline in the town and its services, watched the police force be eliminated and garbage service end. Boy, does that stink. Get this, the village website states that public safety is their #1 priority. Now that's a good one. We don't even have one police officer. I've even been told that it's too late to save Calumet because any monies that come into the village are only for the benefit of a few. This can be stopped, and I believe we can save ourselves. You need to know what's been going on to understand why it is in your own best interest to reject this manager ordinance No. 154. A manager form of government is nothing new. Do you remember Dan McCormick, the village manager who fired himself back in 1981 because he said the village couldn't afford a manager?
Dateline, Calumet, Michigan. The Copper Island Sentinel, December 3rd, 1981. Manager departs. The die is cast. Calumet cannot possibly survive as is presently constituted and provide the necessary daily services that make the necessary repairs to its streets, water, sewer lines, and buildings. The mining days are gone. Why perpetuate archaic political boundaries created 100 years ago for mining industries that are now as alive as dinosaurs? So said Dan McCormick on his final day in the employ of the Calumet village. McCormick, the village manager who brought cutback management to Calumet, made his last official contribution to the die casting by his exit from the manager's position on Monday. Eliminated by his own recommendation, McCormick joined the ranks of the unemployed following 8 months of service to the village. McCormick arrived amongst hope and optimism concerning his abilities to obtain federal grant money, streamline operations of the village, and put Calumet's financial house in order. In pursuing those objectives, he chose what he regarded as an obvious response: elimination of the unnecessary, including his own political position. I feel disappointed that I didn't have a greater opportunity to accomplish the things I feel I could have, given better economic circumstances and greater cooperation, he noted. However, I do believe that I made the right decision to eliminate my position. Calumet cannot continue as it has and buy the new street maintenance and snow removal equipment, just to name one area of concern, that it must do over the next 5 years. When asked to enlarge upon his reasoning, McCormick responded, "Calumet is only 6 blocks by 6 blocks. It has a shrinking tax base and cannot expect anything but decreasing state aid. It is illogical to have 3 neighboring communities, Calumet, Laurium, and Calumet Township, each with its own police, management, and public works. What a waste of taxpayers' money, especially when that money is hardly there to begin with and diminishing each year in respect to inflation. This incredible duplication of services is not only illogical, it is immoral," McCormick noted. McCormick considered the obvious solution to be consolidation of services and elimination of overlap. "I pray the people of this area will someday come to unify the 3 units of government that now exist. Think of the improved public services, the improvement of streets, water, and sewer systems that would be possible as a result of the greater efficiency and cooperative effort. Economy of scale dictates reality to government as well as business," McCormick concluded.
The manager form of government has been tried and failed multiple times. Let's keep the duties in the elected officials' hands. This way you can retain control over your own town. Here's what I've witnessed over the years. Some of our precious, irreplaceable documents have been destroyed or lost. Salaries have swallowed up so much of our budget that there's barely anything left. And the village has been in a steady decline. The last straw for me was when, after the council passed Manager Ordinance No. 154, and I circulated a petition to allow the voters to participate in making that decision, the council passed a motion to follow the ordinance anyway until the election, contrary to state law. The clear message is that the council doesn't care what you or I think, and if we allow this ordinance to pass, they never ever will have to care what you or I think, unless we're on the council or the president. We have the power to make them care, though. We can all just vote no by filling in the oval for no on our ballots. Since the 1980s, the elected clerks have not been allowed to perform their full duties. Back in the 1990s, the village president even wanted the manager, then called the controller, removed because he wanted to follow the law and return the illegally transferred duties back to a duly elected clerk. So what did the council do? You guessed it. The trustees did not follow the law, but instead continued to have the village operate illegally. So even a village president couldn't convince the council to follow the law. Right now, the village is hemorrhaging over $100,000 a year in administrative salaries alone. And believe this or not, the council passed a motion that the administrator, who calls himself manager sometimes, can lock the doors at noon, limiting public access while continuing to receive a full-time salary of $60,000 a year from you. Now that's another good one, eh? Adding insult to injury, this council wants to take away your ability to vote for who is actually running the town. With no residency requirement, the manager doesn't even have to live on this side of the bridge, and this one certainly does not. If you think that our tiny village administrative salaries should not be over $100,000, vote no. If you want to stop the hemorrhaging of monies from seat-of-the-pants management, vote no. If you think that the people that run our town should live in it, vote no. If you believe in the power of the ballot box and value the great price others have paid for us to have this right, vote no. If you don't wish to give up any of your power, vote no. If you don't want outsiders forcing us to follow rules they don't have to live by themselves, vote no. If you have a great love for the village and your rights as a resident, don't give up your rights lightly. Let us keep the power in the hands of the people who live here. I say power to the people. See you at the polls on Tuesday, March 10. Thank you.